Hello, hello.
Hi, everybody.
We're just going to check if we're actually going live.
Oh, I see. I see it.
You see it?
I see it.
Share it then. All right. How's everybody doing? It's Tuesday. If you look down in the bottom of your screen, you can see some writing. And up at the top of your screen too. We did find a name for the podcast. So it's called Do You Hear Me Now? And Chelsea has figured out how to say it in Cree. She was just on the phone with her auntie. So why don't you tell the people what it sounds like?
It is Gabito Nawao. Is that what we're going to be using? That's what we're going to be calling it, or we're going to keep it as "Do you hear me now"?
I think we'll call it both. I think it,
Yeah,
and I think
that's a
I
great
think
idea.
I think it'd be a good exercise for us to learn how to say it in other languages too, because
Yeah,
it helps us decolonize our mind, right?
yeah.
So that'll be my goal, is to try and figure out how to say "Do you hear me now" in the Anishinaabe language. So
That's a good
that'll be
one.
my goal for the next week. I don't know if I'll be able to do it for next week, but I'll try my damnedest.
Darren, if you're watching this or if you see this later, I still need T-shirts that say "colonized Cree" on it. Thank you. I just found put that out there.
And then
Yeah.
also, I do like the poster in the back here. Thanks, Trent, for designing that. It looks pretty cool. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When
We're-
did you? How did you come up with this kind of design and stuff?
The design, well, the design was the idea for the Do You Hear Me Now? It's actually a title for a song that I wrote, and I was actually working on it and thinking about it. Well, what are we actually trying to do with a podcast? We're trying to amplify Indigenous voices. So what is related to that? That's just how my mind works, right? Like, I'm grabbing ideas from all over the place, and then I'm like, well, do you hear me now? Like, if we're amplifying our voice, do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now?
Testing, testing, 1, 2.
Is this
Good,
thing
yeah.
on?
Gabiton.
But that, hopefully you hear us, and hopefully you'll hear the people that we interview in the weeks to come. That's kind of our goal. We're gonna start interviewing people probably next week. So if anybody out there wants to talk to us, reach out. You can reach out to me at I have my own website. It's called thickerthanbloodmusic.com. You can reach out to me at info@thickerthanbloodmusic.com, or you can reach out to Chelsea or Kurt any way they would like you to reach out. I don't know what the best way is, but I'm sure they can tell you.
Yeah, for me, you can check me out at cyhealers@gmail.com. That's my email. That's the best kind of way to get a hold of me, or Facebook and stuff. You can check me out as well.
The best place for me is Facebook. Unfortunately, I have no idea why I even have a phone number sometimes. I'm like, why do people still call? But
Yeah,
Facebook is the best place to reach me. Yes.
I actually do get a better response from you on Messenger than I do from your phone. So I can see why they reach out that way.
I don't think you're the only one. I think there's a lot of people that connect with this new social media. For sure. That's kind of what we're doing here. No, I really like that. Just to kind of go back to, the name. I really like to amplify our voices. Just because we can touch on that in so many different ways. Like Chelsea learning to say that in Cree. I think that's really cool. And then her song last week as well. And like that's kind of how some of our teachings, were through song and through storytelling and that, with our elders. And
Yeah.
I think that's, and it leads right into sitting around the table, like listening to your uncles and aunties play guitar,
Oh,
and go through that. That's definitely one of them.
well, it's healing, sitting around the table, sharing stories, hearing about things that maybe you didn't experience, but you're still a part of because it's your family, right? So that is a healing discussion. And these discussions are healing discussions because it gives us the chance just to talk about whatever's on our mind this week, right? Like,
For sure. For sure. Us as musicians, we have like just such a interesting time. Like, a lot of people see us on stage or those type of things, but They don't see how we got
Or on
there.
Facebook.
Or on Facebook. But they don't see how we got there. We were kind of discussing some of our crazy road stories that we have. And I'm sure we have like some that are PG-13, some that are 18A, some that are we can't remember. Those type of things.
If you want the real story, we'll have a live stream at 2 a.m. Just kidding.
It'll be like $10 on pictures.
Yeah.
Are we calling that podcast Two Guys and a Girl then?
You know, funny, that's one of the stories.
Well, I'll start off with a crazy story. I won't name full names here because, you know, we're all friends and stuff. But
Throw him under the bus.
I was at the Aboriginal People's Choice Awards, and me and my good buddy, Mr. Dallas Arcan, were there, and he won an award for his flute album. So we were there just enjoying the festivities and the whole thing. And so, you know, there was a crew about like 5 of us that went down there, and, you know, it was a cool time. So he's, you know, holding up he won Best Instrumental that year. So he's holding up his award and accepting it and, you know, saying his speech and stuff. But we had a show that Monday. So we had to literally head out that next morning to travel all day Sunday. And anybody who knows Saskatchewan, traveling on a Sunday means that you have to gas up like anywhere that you can. And so we're passing Regina, and I say, Del, I think we should, gas up here. And he's like, we'll gas up at the next town. And I'm like, Del, there's gonna be no next town. The next town's gonna be closed. Everything closes in Saskatchewan at about 7:30 on a Sunday.
When we went to PA?
So we go past Regina. Sure enough, we get to the next town. We go to every gas station. It's all closed. It's not even 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And
Sunday at 6, man.
We checked when they open on Monday, not till 8 a.m. on Monday. It's not even 8 o'clock at night. There's no hotels open. We're on E, you know. So Dallas is like, well, I wonder what we can do. So he drove around, and I'm not going to name names on who had the crazy idea of doing this or who actually did this. There was 5 of us. One of us did this. I won't say who. We actually got a hold of a hose and drove up.
Can I try and guess who did it?
We got a hold of a hose, and we ended up getting the hose and pulling up to a work truck, and we siphoned some gas. So whose ever work truck that was, thank you so much. We didn't take it all either. We only took
Was this like 1950?
So we siphoned gas, and it was enough like to make it to
the next town or whatever.
Medicine Hat or whatever.
Oh, to Medicine Hat, right on.
So it was like,
must have been a big work truck.
So that was one of our stories. I'm not going to say who did all that, but I was there. Maybe one of us did it out of the 5 of us. I won't say names, but that was one of our crazy stories. One night
That's good because there is no statute of limitations in Canada. So.
I know. One night you're accepting an award. The next night you're
siphoning gas.
The luxurious life, the fabulous
Sounds
life
about
of
right.
musicians.
Yeah.
Well, do you got one, Chelsea?
Road
story.
Full disclaimer, we spare on this show a little bit.
Yes.
Not too much. Just
We're gonna try and keep it under control, but we also, everyone who knows me knows that I'm a horrible swearer. And I don't even notice sometimes, so I'm trying to, but I don't want to think too much about what I'm saying because I just want to say what's on my mind. So I'm gonna try.
Wait, hold on. I thought you said you got arrested.
I did.
Oh!
That was actually a different time. But they mistook me for somebody else, and so I was detained once we were pulled over, and it was with Dallas again. So yeah, younger years, much crazier years. I don't have a criminal record. I'm, but I was
Me too.
mistaken for somebody who did.
Mistaken identity. Imagine that.
Yeah, it was somewhere just outside of Morinville. I believe we were traveling to a different show, and yeah, we got pulled over, and then they thought I was somebody else. Yeah, but I made it.
I traveled with my dad and my younger brother, and we always had very marginal vans. They tended to break down or blow tires quite a bit, and so we were driving to Dawson Creek. We're on the road. We're gonna go play for a week in Dawson Creek and 2 weeks in Grand Prairie, and it's minus 45, and there's not really a lot of heat in the van, and so my brother's sitting in the back on what's it called? A milk crate, because we didn't have a back seat. He was sitting on a milk crate. Then there's all the gear around him, and I'm in the front, and I got the little bit of heat in the front, and my dad does too. And Bryce is only about 100 pounds soaking wet, and he's freezing back there. And he's like, he's like, Trent, can you please switch places with me? Please, I'm freezing. And he'd been sitting there for about, I would say, 2.5 hours. So I'm finally like, fine, you're just being a wimp. At the time, I got to tell you, he was like 17 and I was 26. So there's a distance between us, and I'm the big brother. So I'm like, oh, you're being a wimp. I'll go back there. So I go back there and we get going, and we're only going for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, man, it's cold back here. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I can't really say nothing. I just called him a wimp, right? So I'm sitting there. Finally, by 30 minutes, I'm like, come on, you got to switch back. It's way too cold for me.
Only 30 minutes.
Yeah, but we ended up making it there. So we get there. It's like minus 49, minus 50 with the wind chill for 3 days. I never left the hotel in Dawson Creek. My dad and my brother went for a walk around the block because they couldn't stay in the hotel anymore. Our van froze on the last night there, like completely froze up. We couldn't start it. My dad had to get the van towed to Canadian Tire, and it thawed out inside their bay overnight. And then we were able to fire it up and head to the next gig. But that's the kind of stuff that happened all the time when I was on the road.
Traveling in the winter.
Yeah.
Never nice. But you got to do it, eh?
Got to do it.
Like, you got to, if you're booked for that show, it sucks driving through.
What were you guys looking at? Because you're smiling at me. Am I getting in trouble?
No.
Actually, we should say hello to some people.
Yeah.
Since there's some people tuning in.
What we were looking at was somebody asked if, are you single, Mohawk boy? I want to touch your hair.
Well, I just want to say that, I with this crazy life of mine, I'm lucky enough to have a woman that's a psychologist. So if you want to try some crazy stuff, all my musician friends, date a psychologist. She helps me every day through a lot of things. So I love you, Joanna. How you doing?
I met her the other night. She's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. No, she's awesome. She's going to be a guest on the show. She's a psychologist. She works with health services. Has her master's degree, and she's a very educated.
Sounds
person.
like a song I know.
Yeah, we actually we're writing a song about very intelligent, strong women.
Yes.
And it's called Too Deadly for Me. Watch out for that. We're going to release it on New Year's.
Yeah.
Right?
January 1st is our goal to release this song. So watch out for it.
Too deadly. She's too
Yeah.
deadly.
We're going to put Chelsea in the background. She's got
Gotta
some.
be on it,
Yeah, she's got some background vocal ideas that I think are going to just put it over the top.
Yeah, it's gonna be we're kind of we have a little bit of a project that we're doing where it's gonna be all like upbeat, rockabilly, fast dancing style music. And so,
And we can't use the name I thought of because there is a band by the same name already. So
okay.
we won't even say it. We'll think of
Okay.
another name.
So we're still nameless on that, but it's gonna be an upbeat, fast rockabilly, fun, upbeat.
And you're going to hear some ever deadly guitar work by Russell Schott. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, and some deadly backup
By Chelsea Young.
ideas and singing by Chelsea for sure.
So if you want to buy the single, you can pre-order it. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not there just yet.
No, the song is written and it's semi-recorded. But yeah.
So remember last week I mentioned that I was going to have a different name for these guys every week. So I would like to introduce Tiny and Tonto. They were uncle and cousin last week. They're Tiny and Tonto now. And I don't know. Do you guys have one for me?
I can't say it on
Oh.
camera. I don't like the name, so I'm not going to give you a nice name. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know what you were doing for a second. I'm like, what the hell is you trying to make?
Come on, don't be shy.
No, this is what should we call her?
That's really, I've never been a person to give nicknames, so
I have many nicknames. Yeah.
Red Bull.
Oh, well, yeah, because you don't have Red Bull this
I
week,
am so
it's gotta
proud
be
of
Red
you.
Bull.
You made a stand against Red Bull for the podcast.
Yes, I finished it just before the show.
Just before she got in. So,
Well, it's better off camera than on, anyways. So.
yeah, a lot of people were commenting.
It's not healthy for me. I know, guys. I'm trying to listen.
So, Little Red Bull.
Little Red Bull? That's her name. Yeah. Little Red Bull. Why don't you tell us a road story?
Well, this one is about Firestone and the Firestone band and Ernest Muniz.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
Chelsea-
Loves up there,
And
likes
Chelsea
love.
is naming names.
Yeah. See, that's how you really roll. I like that.
So, I don't know what it is. So, first of all, there's a lot of people on my fan page and everything that know, you know what a blonde moment is, right?
Mm.
You know, like
I'm having one right now.
Yeah, I don't blonde. My stepdad calls it no common sense and whatever. So, I changed it to Chelsea moment because I feel like it's a hell of a lot worse than an actual blonde moment, you know? So we're out in Ontario. We're this small community in Ontario, this small airport, waiting for our plane. It was a little late. We see two officers standing there. And to be honest, I have no idea why they were there, but there were police officers there. And
I almost said a joke, but I stopped myself. I was like, no. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Milton loves to pick on me. When I would like go out and do shows and travel with him, it was always Milton. Just I have no idea what the hell it was. He was like he was kind of pushing my buttons, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit you. You know, he's like, there are two cops over there. He's like, you can't hit me. There's two cops over there. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Watch
well,
me.
I'm gonna, you know what? How about I go ask them if I hit you here in Ontario, can I get charged in Alberta? Because that's where we were heading out of Ontario back to Alberta. And I'm like, you know, and I'm serious, and I'm like, just watch, you wait. I'm gonna ask. And he's like, yeah, whatever. So this police officer, he comes and stands beside us, and I'm dead serious. I'm legit. I'm sitting there, just, you know, all sassy, and I'm like, excuse me, hi, yeah, can I ask you a question? If I hit him here in Ontario, can I get charged in Alberta for it? And the guy standing there looking at me is like, yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well,
Shouldn't he be really sure if he's a cop? Shouldn't he know the law?
Everett looks at me like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, you know, like, did you just, he's like, that's not a cop. That's a pilot. And they just, oh my God. Like everybody who was standing there.
That answers my question. Why the cop didn't know the law.
Melton was just, he didn't, I don't know. He just couldn't laugh. He was so embarrassed and so disappointed in me. He just he's like, I'm going to stand over there. He's like, I can't even be associated with you. Like, it was so bad.
That's funny.
But the other one about Ernest Munoz, so I had to, tell the story about like Melton. So again, Melton is like, we do this fun thing where he pretends to hit me with his bass guitar or something, or on stage, and I pretend to kick him or something. It was always something funny.
Sound like two little kids on the school ground.
Yeah. And so we take a break. We're sitting there with Ernest Munoz. There's like me, Ernie, Everett, Melton. And Melton starts saying shit to me, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, say it to my face. He gets up and whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't forget what it was again, what he said. And I was like, oh, I was like, hold me back, Ernie, hold me back. And Ernest Munoz gets up, and he's like going like this. He's like, I'm right behind him, just reaching over him. I was like, hold me back, Ernie, and everything. And there's like Everett up, and he's like instigating. He's like, oh shit, Fucking Melton.
I never got that though. Hold me back. Like, if you really want to fight, don't you want him to get the heck out of the way? Like, that's my thing. Like, hold me back. Do you really want to fight?
I'm scared of what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. If you don't hold me back, all hell's gonna break loose.
I'm going to jail, Ernie. Hold me back.
Yeah. Well, I could see that part.
Melton just like everything kind of stops for a second. He's like, let the bitch go. Fucking, oh my God. I was offended. I was like, oh my God, you just said that. Let the bitch go. Fucking Ernie was just curled over, just laughing. Like Everett's just standing there, jaw dropped. He's like, like,
see,
oh
Melton called you on it. He was like, if she really wanted to fight, he'd let her go.
Let the bitch go. Oh my God. We just died laughing. Like, I have the best time with those guys, seriously. But all common sense just goes out the window with them.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will probably notice that Chelsea's kind of like one of the guys. Yeah. I don't sit and say that in a bad way or anything. It's just like, you kind of got to be that way when you hang around musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sink or
Riding
swim.
around in a vehicle, traveling to shows like,
with smelly men,
with guys and stuff. It's like I
Have to
said,
get ready in the car.
you only see the stage part. You don't see how they got to the stage part usually, unless someone's filming most of that. But it is the truth.
You don't see the anxiety attack in the hotel room before you go out there.
I had to change in a porta potty once. I was like, are we going to go to our stop somewhere?
I would have had a diva moment if somebody was trying to make me change into a porta potty. I'd be like, nope, I'm not doing it.
I was doing a dance performance. I was with about 4 or 5 of us dancers, grass powwow dance. So I was grass dancing, and we were late for a show. And so we pull up, and there's a train that just hits. And this is in Calgary. So the train just hits, and we're like, let's just change right here, right now. So all 4 doors open of this car, and all of us are changing into our regalia. We're like, there's lineup of cars like lining up.
I would have had my phone out.
There were some people with their phones.
We got to look on YouTube because it's probably somewhere on the internet.
We're all like changing. The only thing we didn't put on was our roaches, and so we jumped back in the vehicle once the train got there, put on our roaches, and like jumped right onto the dance floor. Yeah, that definitely, that rush thing. One time too, I made it all the way from the Grey Eagle Casino to the downtown legislature of Edmonton in 2 hours. Yeah.
What about remember that trip we took? We drove from Vancouver all the way to Calgary, and we took a wrong turn somewhere and ended up 14 hours back from Vancouver, slept for 2 hours, and then drove to Loon Lake, like another 7 hours or something, played a show, packed up, and drove all the way back. I only drove back to Red Deer. You drove back to Calgary, I think.
Yeah.
But that was like another 7 hours or whatever. That was insane.
A long trip.
Yeah.
That was a long trip. I totally remember that. I mean, I like the mountains and stuff, but wow, that was definitely a long.
Don't take the wrong way back from Vancouver. That's all I gotta say.
Make sure that you're traveling safe through those mountains. That's for sure. Those big rigs, they're like bullies out there for sure. You gotta watch them.
Yeah, that reminds me. Yeah.
I really wish I could have found that. I haven't. No, I don't.
You've been trying to find Kurt's video.
Yeah.
4 Indians dressing up in the train tracks.
Yeah, it was definitely wild. It was definitely wild. So you have some shows coming up, Trent? You said, eh?
Yeah, I'm playing with Nathan Cunningham. We're doing a New Year's Day event in Edmonton with Armin Duck Chief at the Boot Scoot and Boogie Dance Hall, which is the old Drake. They did a whole bunch of renovations apparently, so we'll be the first band to play in there. I have a show with the Legacies. That's the trio I play with Russ and Digger. We're playing at the East Coast Junction on the 17th of December because that's just where we should actually talk about that. We all just jam there on the weekend. I had a gig there this Saturday, and then I got another couple gigs with Nathan in December as well. They're private functions. One's in Calgary and one's in Valley View. And then I also am doing a set at the I Am Indigenous Market on December the 10th at 5 p.m. So if you want to buy great Indigenous art before Christmas, go check it out and then come check and hear me sing some acoustic songs. I might even learn a Christmas song. No, I won't learn a Christmas song. I'm just kidding. What about you, Chelsea? You got anything coming up?
Nope.
Nothing?
I'm just kidding. No.
I'm like, so everybody out there, please book Chelsea. She said she might hire me as a guitar player. No,
Yeah.
Y'all don't love me anymore. Actually, I have something here in Edmonton, but it's more for domestic violence.
Oh, cool.
So I do
not that domestic violence is cool. It's cool that you have a show.
Yes.
I'm always pulling my foot out of my mouth when I speak.
Community shows are awesome for sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I want to get right back into it again, and kind of had to find my footing, and like what the positive message was at the end, and it was so funny. I was like, what, I tell my story, sure, but I'm like, where's the motivational part? And it clicked me. I'm like, motivational. I listen to this stuff, right?
Yeah.
All the time. And I'm like, that's what it's literally missing from the motivational speaking. But yeah, like I'm getting right back into all of that again. And I also have a gig with Beatrice Love in Sturgeon Lake on the 18th.
Really?
So if you're in the surrounding area, close by, and want to come in, come listen to some live music, come to Sturgeon Lake. I have no idea where though, so maybe I'll post that a little
just
later.
Listen for the women singing Deadly, because there's going to be 2 of them there doing it. So you'll probably hear it all over the reserves. So just listen for their voices.
And we're pretty loud when we sing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you're not quiet singers. So.
No.
And you talked about actually having Beatrice on the show as a guest, eh?
Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
She's going to be here next week. I did talk to her about being on the show. It sounds like it's a go. I just still need to kind of confirm with her on that. But yeah,
we're going to need a rapid test. No, I'm just kidding.
she's a life coach, and she does a bunch of workshops for addictions and all of that. Like, she's got an incredible story. She's super funny too. Like, I can't wait for her to be on the show. And
I actually met her in AMP Camp in 2012. We did the Aboriginal music program in Winnipeg, not in Winnipeg, just outside of Winnipeg. So we did that for a week, and she's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
AMP Camp Cousins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And we are something North family. Oh, what was it that we went to in Saskatchewan?
Oh, Voices of the North.
Voices of the North.
And actually, I saw on Facebook that they're taking auditions by video this year for Voices of the North. So check it out. I'm not exactly sure what it's probably Voices of the North on Facebook. Check out their page because they're open for their auditions right now. And it's a great program. You get to perform on a huge stage with full like professional production. It's a really good experience. So I recommend any up and coming or any Indigenous artists to get out there because you're playing for 300 or 400 people. It's just a great experience. So.
Nice. Well, for myself, I have like also.
I didn't ask you.
Hey, I just jump in there, brother. But I'll be playing at the IM market as well, and I have a couple of Zoom shows with schools as I've usually done. This past week was really cool. I got to play a show for the Rotary Club. Big shout out to Joanna for hooking me up with that. The Rotary Club was featuring Paul Brandt, and it was
My heart has a story.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't know he has like a thing for missing women, and he has a charity for missing people in general.
Yeah.
Here in Canada and across the world. So it was quite interesting. But that's kind of what the event was. It was the Rotary Club, and it was kind of to build money for CEASE and for the homeless and stuff like that. So it was really cool. No, I definitely enjoy the community shows and stuff for the community. So it's cool to see that we do those shows, right? So
well, awesome. You're too cool for us now. Or?
Hey.
I wear my sunglasses. My mom used to do that to us all the time. She always had a song for everything. Go sit out by the fire, and she's like, "Put another log on the fire." You know what I mean? And I
she'd sing everything.
Kind of pick that up. And that plus, I have like a theme song in my head all of the time. There's nothing playing right now. Sorry. But
yeah, we should come up with it. Oh yeah, I said I wrote a song called "Do You Hear Me Now." Chelsea's gonna sing on it actually. Big secret. Oh no, I'm just kidding.
It'll be the opening and ending song of the
show.
I'm gonna rap.
We need some. Yeah, we do need a song, right?
Yeah. Well, we can build. We said we were gonna do that. We were gonna write a theme song. And we should do a little intro video to play before everything. We're going to get real deadly here. So you better stick around and check it out.
Yeah, this is only episode 2. So
the ideas are still coming, and you can't shut this thing off here. No, I'm just kidding.
Apparently you can with mine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I have lots of ideas. I just don't have complete follow through all the time, but see, that's why we gathered 3 people here. We actually made this thing steamroll pretty quickly. I mean, I think we put it together pretty quickly, and we even had a meeting yesterday on Facebook Messenger about what we're going to talk about today. It's like we're almost planning things.
Yeah, it's that that happens. We have a nicer light setup this week too. So yeah, that's why Chelsea has the sunglasses on. Mm-hmm. It's bright in here.
Well, actually, you guys planned and coordinated. I'm winged queen, so I was like, yeah, okay. I know nothing about the topic tonight, but let's do it.
Well, we're just talking anyways, and that's all I wanted to ever do is just talk about stuff. Like we had mentioned we could talk about a lot of things, and I said, well, why don't we talk about grants? And Chelsea's like, I don't know anything about grants. And I'm like, well, then let's talk about grants so we can, learn a little bit more about it. So you can learn about it. People out there can learn about it. Because honestly, in Canada, we live in one of the best countries in the world for an artist to live in, to get assistance from the government to create your art. And there is money out there, and it's not a lot of Indigenous people access the grants that are available. And then there's also grants that are available just for Indigenous art. You just have to know where to go and know what to do and what the application process is like. There's always deadlines. Like Kurt, why don't you tell us, you recently got a grant?
Yeah, no, I applied for a grant for my album, and so I was approved for half of that, to pay for half of it, and so it was through the People's Development Program in Calgary. So and I didn't know about these grants as well, and the first grants that I ever had been approved with were with my other group that I was with. And so my partner at that time was the one who was writing all the grants. So I kind of got an idea watching what she was doing. But basically, if you're interested in doing that, I would suggest just, make sure that you have your budget in line, and the reason why you want the grant, and what you're going to do, have all those things in place before you enter or write a grant proposal. And so I was lucky enough to get approved for another grant, actually, to go and film the search on my reserve for the young spirits right now. That was the start, was the 215 in BC, the young spirits that were found out there. That kind of led into me wanting to film at home, and the search on that, and finding some of the history there. And so that's how I got into knowing about the program, the Calgary People's Development Program. And so there is a deadline too for you to have your stuff done, but with COVID and stuff like that happening, it definitely changed some of the idea, like especially in my grants. So it was kind of extended as well. So I'm hoping to have it fully done for in the beginning of this new year. Yeah, so it'll be a documentary called Who We Are, on my reserve, some of the history and the search of the young spirits. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
I've also accessed grants in the past. I received a grant from Alberta Foundation of the Arts for my last album, and I got that actually after the fact, after I recorded the album. At first they had said, oh, they didn't have enough money. They thought my project was worth funding, but they didn't have the money. And then at the end of the year, they sent me an email and said, oh, we got leftover money. Your project qualified. All we need from you is a final report, and we can send you the money. So then they sent me money. And then I also got a grant before from Canada Council of the Arts to travel to a gig in Yellowknife to support Leanne Goose and Louis Goose.
Mhm.
So we applied for a travel grant to pay for our flights up there, our hotels, and that was all taken care of. And I also recently recently got two grants, one from the Edmonton Arts Council and one from the Edmonton Heritage Council, for the podcast, not this podcast, but a podcast series that I've been working on called the Thicker Than Blood Music, Indigenous Music Legacy Podcast. So the money is out there if you want to get it. There's a few tips you need to know for grants that will make it easier for you. You need, like Kurt said, you have to set up a budget. You have to know what you want to do, first of all. What are you going to do? Are you going to record an album? And why do you deserve to be funded to record your album? What is special about you? What is your project? Like, it can't be more, it's got to be more than I just want to record something. There's got to be kind of a story behind your project. You got to have community support is a good thing. Go to the people that you work with in your community, other people that have seen your art, and get them to write you a letter of reference. Say, okay, yes, Trent is a professional artist. He's worked for me in the past or whatever. He's always completed everything professionally or whatever. You get them to get you a letter of reference. Get a few of those. Make sure you write out a plan for your project. You have to have a timeline for them. They have to know, how long is this going to take from start to finish? So you have to be realistic when you're applying for a grant. You have to do your research, because if you are going to record, you have to know, how much is the studio going to cost? How much are the musicians going to cost? How much is it going to cost for me to feed those guys when they're there? Like, these are all costs that are incurred while you create your art that you can be compensated for in part by grants. So if the money's there, you need to go and find it. And the good thing about Indigenous arts is the Canada Council has a situation where Indigenous grant applicants can have somebody go through their application with them and work with them through it to kind of help them focus it better and make it fit better for the program. Because every grant has stipulations in it. You know, this money is for this. So now you have to kind of put yourself into that box somehow, right? You have to tell your story to put yourself in that box. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. The money is out there. And if you are actually trying to do art as a profession, it's something that you need to learn how to do.
That's true. Yeah. No, I think it's important, for all young artists and just in any time in your career, if you can get funded to do something that you love, I think it's a beautiful thing for sure.
So did you learn something?
Absolutely.
There's going to be a test later. No.
Whatever I didn't process, I'll just go back and listen to the video.
I wasn't sure.
The video. I don't have to listen to you now.
I wasn't sure if she was even paying attention behind those glasses. I thought I heard a snore there for a second when I was talking. I was like, yeah. Don't they know I have a manager who writes my grants for me?
Darren, I hope you were listening, Darren. That might have been.
Shout out to Darren Brule.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
I just want to quickly say that I'm pretty sure I made it to number 32 on the Indigenous.
I was just going to say that we need to vote for Chelsea, everyone.
Yes.
So go to indigenousmusic.com or .ca. I can't remember what it is.
I don't know. But
I don't know. Indigenousmusic.
Countdown. You can Google that.
You got to register, but then you can vote for up to 7 artists a day. Is it? 5 artists a day. See, I know everything about this.
Well, some people are actually having issues trying to register and whatever, and that kind of sucks. Yeah. But
that's because you're probably still using Hotmail.
No. Well, no, the thing is about it is you have to sign on and actually make a password, and it's a big process. It's not easy enough. It's not like you just click on it. I wish it was an easier process. So little shout out to our Manitoba brothers and sisters. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, but it is like I've heard the same thing, is that people are kind of confused, and it's like, well, you actually have to sign on, log in, put an email in, put your password in, and then you can start to vote.
Well, maybe we'll start our own "Do You Hear Me Now" countdown.
Oh
my God!
Maybe that's how we'll start the show. Is with every day it'll be a different artist or something. You never know.
Top 5, maybe.
Yeah, top 5 of the week or top 5 of the month or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we make stuff right up. Right.
Yeah, you're seeing the creative mind in action. It's actually almost like watching that Beatles documentary.
I also have a question. We have a question from last week.
Oh.
Susan Andrew would like to know the changes of sobriety. When getting sober, did you find that you had to change friends to make it easier to stay away from alcohol?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
when Kurt quit, he didn't talk to me for 2 years. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I think you're right. Like, not intentionally, but I definitely kept myself out of situations. Like when I did first stop drinking, I stopped playing in the bar for a while.
Yeah.
Like I stopped taking gigs with my friends back home. Like they called me up quite a few times, and I'm like, I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready to be in that situation. And I did shows, like community shows, and it was just before like the pandemic hit. I've only been not drinking for like 2.5 years. So, I mean, when the pandemic hit, that kind of helped me because we couldn't go anywhere anymore. Right. So like a lot, I know it's hard to say the pandemic helped me, but I mean, in that way, it helped me to stay away from those things. And then I didn't have to separate myself from my friends because of drinking. I did it because of COVID. So it was a little bit easier, I guess, for me. It wasn't like I was disrespecting anybody by not being around them. It was just like, well, AHS says I can't visit you, man.
I guess like for myself, I did change some of my friends, but by the time I quit, I was only drinking one or two for the last like 2 years of my drinking. So then after that, I was like, well, why am I even having one or two? I might as well just put it down, type of thing. So, yeah, so that's how I did it. Is just I had to choose. It was either music or playing. I couldn't have the both.
I mean, music or drinking.
Yeah, music or drinking.
Yeah.
Music or drinking because it was just too many crazy things were happening. It always happens.
I got into music because of drinking.
Yeah,
when I was 19, but that's a
So,
different story altogether.
Yeah, like it just, there's been just too many times where like things have happened with alcohol with me, and it's just best if I stay sober. Yeah, better for everyone.
Broadcast has been paused. It should resume shortly.
What's that?
It just popped up live video interrupted.
Uh-oh. That means the internet just probably
Are we good again?
No, are we going yet? Because it's not showing any problems here. It must be just on the Facebook.
Yeah, I think it's still playing.
Okay. So,
you made everybody
just
look
me.
at me now. I was all up close.
We were talking too, like we didn't plan on both wearing a green shirt. So it's pretty wild that we're wearing a green shirt each. Chelsea didn't get the memo.
Well,
Next time
we kind of share one brain now that we're writing songs together. So I'm just kidding.
So does that mean I only have 1/3 of a brain?
Only when you're with us. You put the other 2/3 away.
You were saying like some people actually drink during a podcast.
This is actually a funny story. There is a lot of podcasts, like there's a podcast called Drink Champs. It's a rap podcast where everybody drinks nonstop through the podcast, and that's Kanye West was actually just on there, and he spilled the beans on a lot of stuff, and they said they were actually amazed that he actually drank and smoked, and like Joe Rogan's podcast, they're always, getting lit up. And then as I'm telling Chelsea and Kurt this, on podcasts, they usually drink. The whole room got really silent, and they're both looking at me like this. And I think Chelsea was pondering that we should go get something to drink. And Kurt was like, what the hell is this guy going to try and make me do? Like, are you trying to do everything like everyone else?
Yeah.
I said, don't worry, I don't drink. I was just suggesting
I think he's onto something.
that it might be a way to loosen everybody up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
But no, you're seeing right now there's no substances but coffee on the table. So
Yeah.
on the table.
Which is also a substance. No, just joking.
Bailey and Kahlua.
Well, we got about 8 minutes left if we're gonna go for an hour. So you guys want to sing a song?
Yeah. You go first, buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, hello, shout out to Ian Rossiter. He's an incredible musician, and he's actually asking me some questions about a song he's going to come and record for me. So, hey, Ian, I don't know if you're watching the stream, but I'll answer your question in a bit. And I want somebody else to sing first because I'm going to step off camera because I have to pee. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So if you guys don't mind, somebody else can sing first, and I'll.
Do you want me to, or do you want?
I can go first.
Okay.
And I'll be right
Do you have a
back.
capo?
I do. You want to use mine?
Yeah, sure. Leave it up to me to.
Post right there. Just place it wherever you need.
So I don't know if you guys know this. It might be somewhere on my page. Oh, that sounds so pretty.
Brand new strings.
I don't do Christmas songs, right? And I just learned this song. I actually attempted to sing this song a few years back, and it just turned into this blooper. I can share the blooper later. My grandfather's dog was barking, and I was having a really hard time finding a quiet space. I just had a total spaz moment and turned into this funny blooper. But I learned the song.
Hey, there you go.
So So, let's get into the spirit of Christmas here. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. This is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices when yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night. Oh, night divine. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices where yonder breaks new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night. Oh, night divine.
Hey, woo.
Good stuff.
Yay.
That's a beautiful song. I like it. I guess I'll go next. And
Did you write that?
New Christmas album coming out.
yeah, everyone, give it up. I love that. That's one of my favorite ones for Christmas. Yeah, beautiful.
So cold.
This song is called I Generation, and I did submit it for the countdown, so we'll see what happens with it. Darren and I actually did a little collaboration on this, and so yeah, I just want to dedicate it to all you social media people.
Oh, and if anybody wants, I have a bootleg version from about 2 years ago when he first wrote this on my hard drive
There
somewhere.
you go. That's what
Inbox me, we'll talk.
That's what friends are for. They get that old stuff. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, we really here together. Can we download one another? There's 1,000 friends with few connections, 1,000,000 neighbors all alone. There's an answer to everyone's problem. Prescription pills left us all. Oh, we, the I generation, system controlled population. Oh, we, the I generation, system controlled population. Can we break away from these? Have truth conspiracies. We are the keepers of this land. Mother Nature's in our hands. Oh, we, the I generation, system control population. Oh, we, the I generation, system control population. Hey, there you go.
Who did your
Fast
strap?
guitar. I can't remember. It was a beater from the south area, I believe.
Sweet. Oh
I
shit.
can't remember.
Oh,
the
good
name.
thing I don't need that.
It says young on it.
Yeah, Chelsea could be like, that could be mine. Just saying.
If
Like,
it goes missing, it wasn't me.
Well, you know, once I changed my name,
so I used
Are you
to.
getting married?
well,
Are you taking her last name?
no.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm changing my name to Grey Buffalo.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah. So yeah, but you know that'd be very progressive, they would say. But no, unfortunately.
What would
I'm
one
not
of your uncles
that
say about that?
progressive. Yeah. Actually, when I was going out with this girl that was from a different tribe, she was from the Blackfoot Nation. My uncle, I went home and my uncle's like, "Hey, bro," he's like, "Let's see the bottom of your feet. I want to see if you're a Blackfoot." Hey, I was like, "What a guy." Anyways,
Okay, I'm gonna try. Me and Kurt have been writing a lot of songs in the last 3 weeks, so I'm gonna try something here. Kurt was supposed to help me with this one, but
yeah, he just took over.
he kind of just sat there and he was looking at his phone, and I was like, "What do you think of this?" So if you guys don't like it, it's his fault. So what I did with this song is every single line in this song is a title from another song. So I just put strung all these titles together to make a song. So let's see if I can remember it.
Oh my god, I wanted to do that like a few years back. That's really cool.
So it's called Going to California. I'm a prisoner of this highway. There ain't no easy load. I'm driving my life away, and I don't want to go home. I'm the king of the road. I can't drive 55. I drive it like I stole it. I won't make it out alive. And I'm going to California, 'cause I'm running down a drain. I'm a diesel driving daddy, one headlight and a high beam. Said I'm going to California, no, I won't back down. I'm a diesel driving daddy on this highway through hell. Okay, I've been California dreaming all over the road. I was blinded by the light, let the train whistle blow. Feel the sunshine on my shoulders. Ah, here comes the sun. These highways run forever. California, here I come. Said I'm going to California, 'cause I'm running down a drain. I'm a diesel driving daddy, one headlight and a high beam. Said I'm going to California, no, I won't back down. I'm a diesel driving daddy through this highway through hell. Yeah, I'm a diesel driving daddy. Ooh, on this highway through hell.
Yeah, I just walked those streets.
I know. Well, you know, I was getting a little nervous because I was waiting for Chelsea to open something up while I was playing. But that's called Going to California. And actually, we're running over. So you guys want to say goodbye or what?
Well, yeah, I guess so. So since we did start a little late today,
Yeah, that's true.
It happens. It happens once in a while, but it's cool that we have a new name. Do you hear me now? Amplifying Indigenous voices. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So hopefully in the coming weeks, we're going to have some guests to talk about important issues in our community.
Yes, and in general, just to come talk shit with us.
That's right.
Yes. Come hang out.
They don't have to actually be somebody special, but everybody's somebody special. That's what they teach us in school now. Okay,
Exactly.
See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
What was the how do you say that in Cree?
I will try and learn that after off camera because I don't want to embarrass myself. But yes, thank you for listening. And you guys want to check me out? I keep forgetting. cousinradio.ca every morning. Cousin Country in the mornings. Uncle Trent, I'll be there.
Yes, and don't forget to vote for me on the Indigenous Music
Vote
Countdown.
for Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Let's get to number one, guys.
Number one.
Number one. See you later.